Hello, my name is Alfred Brock, and we're having a little discussion about what is addiction. So we're going to take a look at some items, a little wide-ranging, but they're going to give you an insight into what addiction is and how it happens. Stages of addiction to opioids can vary from person to person, but generally there's several key stages that can be involved. Prescribed by a doctor or used illicitly, the individual tries opioids for the first time, often recreationally, or in response to what is called pain management. After the regular use, the individual begins to use these opioids on a regular basis, either because they were prescribed or for other reasons. Here in the United States, people follow the instructions on medical bottles, and they say, take until finished. Often you don't have to take them until they're finished. But if you do, and you've got a certain amount of them in there, your body can become addicted to the opioids. Tolerance. The individual's body tolerates the opioids. You begin to take them and your body tolerates them. And this is a physical response that is not normally recognized by anyone taking opioids. It just occurs. It is a natural occurrence when you take these opioids. Then dependence. The body becomes dependent upon the opioids after it has become tolerated. The body becomes dependent on opioids and expects the chemical in the body. The body has adjusted to the opioids, is now dependent on them to stabilize feelings, not only to reduce the pain, but of mental and physical well-being. Slight withdrawal symptoms will be experienced when the opioids are not taken at certain times, or if the individual stops using them altogether at this early point, which can be anywhere from 30 to 60 to 90 days. Addiction will occur without fail for every human body that consumes opioids over a period of 90 days. That's a fact. The physical and mental body needs the opioids at this point of addiction to function under the circumstances that have become the new normal. As this stage advances, if the person cannot obtain the drugs through previous channels, they will seek them elsewhere. If this continues, the modern definition of addiction is often applied, which refers to the person continuing to seek and ingest the drugs even in the face of negative consequences such as social, financial, or legal problems. But even if a person can afford and has the permission from the doctors to continue taking them, they are still addicted to the opioids. After cessation, something called relapse may occur. So if they stop taking it, relapse may occur. And this can happen due to social circumstances or habits and feelings of helplessness or extreme need for the drug. And the body knows it craves the drug, and the mind knows where to get it. So ways to avoid relapse are incorporated in the process known as recovery. After stopping the use of opioids, there is a period of 7 to 12 days where the person experiences withdrawal. Symptoms of withdrawal occur during this time, and symptoms of withdrawal may include anxiety and restlessness, depression, insomnia, sleep disturbances, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, sweating, chills, muscle aches and pains, tremors and seizures, hallucinations and delusions, cravings for the drug, irritability, agitation, rapid heartbeat, and increased blood pressure, difficulty concentrating, and confusion. Following withdrawal, and now that happens to everybody, even if they've been prescribed it and they were taking it as according to what they were told to do. If they stop, these things can happen to them and often do. Following withdrawal, it can take up to 16 months for the body and mind to fully recover and not crave nor need the opioids anymore. This is the recovery period, up to 16 months. Following recovery, the recovery must be maintained essentially by avoiding the drug, but including meetings, social interaction, personal pursuits, and the continuation of the individual's life with all the attendant joys and sorrows of their own personal human experience. And this can happen even if the materials are prescribed normally, okay? People need help restoring themselves to a normal life after having taken this poisonous drug. Now, we've been speaking primarily about opioids, but other drugs have similar or light withdrawal symptoms, and of them all, withdrawal from alcohol is the most dangerous, not opioids, from alcohol. and that should be performed always under the care of a doctor. In the case of methamphetamines and cocaine, there's a strong social component of the addiction, while physical addiction of the body is fairly low. In that case, cutting association with anyone using, selling, or producing drugs, and even anyone who thinks they're okay, is important to ensure that the person does not return to that lifestyle. The time after drug use ends can be intensely lonely for the people battling addiction. Encouraging them to attend meetings and participate in other social functions when they are ready can be helpful. Even though it is painful, it is a supportive and loving way of life that can help people struggling in this way very much. So, we're going to talk briefly about addiction as a theme in To Kill a Mockingbird, which occurred, very, very small piece of it occurred in there. But we're going to talk about this. So, now Atticus is talking about Mrs. Henry Lafayette Dubose, who had a morphine addiction. Mrs. Dubose was a great lady, he said, a lady in every sense of the word. And then Jem, who hadn't seen her about town, said, "How can you hate Hitler so bad and then turn around and be ugly about folks right at home?" Well, Jem's question was an appeal to Atticus, but Mrs. Dubose's attack had been an attack on his household and his parentage. And I wondered what Atticus would say. "You know, it's funny," he said, "we were talking about one night when I was your age, Jem, and I asked my father why he was so hateful about Hitler. After all, Germans weren't all bad." "Atticus, that's bad," I said. "Something's wrong with her. She's not all there." "Which is all the more reason for not fighting back," he said. Answers back like that and changes the subject. "We'll never understand her, but we should try. I've got to make her head come down so I can put this stuff in her mouth." I was fascinated. "Is that all you can think of to do, sir? Seems like that's all there is to it, doesn't it?" "That's what you think, Atticus. We're going to try and help her break herself of it." Now, what is all that about? Here's excerpt number 2. "Mrs. Dubose was a morphine addict," said Atticus. "She took it as a painkiller for years. The doctor put her on it. She'd have spent the rest of her life on it and died without so much agony, but she was too contrary." "Sir?" asked Jem. Atticus said she was. "She said she meant to break herself of it before she died, and that's what she did." Now, what happened there? In the book To Kill a Mockingbird, Mrs. Dubose stopped using morphine by setting her goal to die free of the drug. She had been taking morphine for a long time, for a third part of her life. She was very sick, but desired to die free of the drug, which she felt separated her from real living. Mrs. Dubose wanted to stop taking the drug and experience life without it before she died. She made a plan to overcome the problem. Mrs. Dubose asked Atticus to read it to her. He did this for her. He would go to her house every day and read to her. He did this even when she was extremely rude to him. Mrs. Dubose needed a distraction from the withdrawal symptoms experienced when someone stops taking opioids after long use. Listening to Atticus read to her helped her with this. In the book, she would also grip onto a camellia flower while Atticus read, as an additional way of distracting herself from the discomfort and pain of withdrawal. The book didn't focus on it, but we were seeing all the outside things that take place. Now, she gradually reduced her use of morphine, and through suffering, and though suffering pain, Mrs. Dubose persisted with her plan and succeeded. Now, there's local organizations everywhere in the United States, Canada, Australia, England, India, Pakistan, and you can participate in to help people suffering from addiction or who have friends or family members who are suffering and do not know where to turn to. Here in my city, we have something called Hope Not Handcuffs, which lets people go in and, "Hey, I got a problem." And instead of getting arrested, they get help. They get taken to a mental institution or a medical institution so that folks can help them reduce and remove their addiction. Just like Mrs. Dubose, they know that they don't want that anymore. So they reach out and they do it without illegal repercussions. Now, it's important because when addicts are sent to jail, they may go through withdrawal, and when they get out, they return to the drug right away. Now, that's bad because after you stop taking it, your resistance to it drops low. Now, the people get out and they're unaware that the resistance has dropped low. They just know that they want some. So they go and they buy the same amount that they bought the last time that made them feel good. And that right there, one dose can kill them. So this particular group, Hope Knock Handcuffs, and all of them, all these groups that help people, are looking for volunteers all the time. So I suggest that you go out and find out about them and see what you can do. Sometimes they just need supplies, food, personal care items, blankets, such things. Hey, sometimes they even just need some people to read to somebody. You can also write letters to your local, state, and federal elected officials, letting them know how you feel about this proliferation of drugs, because it hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped. And you can put a stamp on it, put it in the mail. You can send them an email. You can call them on the phone. All that it matters is that they get a contact from you, because an individual contact will cause them to do something. If senators and representatives receive 3 contacts about something, that becomes something they need to pay attention to, especially amongst state legislators. You can write letters to your local schools telling them of your concerns. You can attend some of the meetings that take place in your area. And you don't need to participate. You can just go and see what's going on and see who's being impacted. You're going to be surprised. You can change, impact, and improve the lives of your neighbors, improve your own community, help your families and friends simply by talking about the problems, just like you're doing right now, listening and talking about them. Related to the flood of these opioids and other drugs like methamphetamines, hallucinogens, and so much more. We don't need them. Thank you.